Well, they got to win. The Associated Press, in its battle to get back into the White House, moves forward today. A federal judge has ordered the White House to restore the AP's full access to President Trump and the briefing room, the Oval Office. Now, the Trump administration had barred the AP after it refused to call the Gulf of America the Gulf of America. They were going with the Gulf of Mexico, but during an executive order, President Trump had renamed it. Now, the judge ruling just yesterday saying that the government repeatedly characterizes the AP's request as a demand for extra special access. But he writes that is not what the AP is asking for, and it is not what the court orders. All the AP wants and all it gets is a level playing field. But will the Trump administration, which has a week now, to appeal, do just that? Joining me now, senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Great to see you, Judge.
Likewise, Bianca.
All right. I read into U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden's ruling here. He kind of, in a way, splits the baby a little bit. So he says he doesn't order the government to grant AP permanent access to the Oval, the East Room, but it doesn't bestow special treatment, but it also cannot be treated worse. But I also find it fascinating. He says this decision, while it does not prohibit a government official from choosing which outlets to give interviews or even ask questions from, answer questions. So they may be in, but President Trump could refuse to answer all their questions, but they're in the room. What do you think about all this?
Well, I think it's an excellent decision by Judge McFadden, who, as you know, was appointed 5 years ago by President Trump. Newsmax and virtually all other news organizations joined with the Associated Press, because if this rule were not reversed, a future president could attempt to do to us what the Trump White House attempted to do to the Associated Press. What Judge McFadden ordered is equal treatment, no disparagement because of the viewpoint of the bosses, not the people in the Oval Office, not the reporters themselves, but the bosses of those people. He wrote an excellent defense of the First Amendment. I suspect the Trump administration will appeal, but I think they will lose this appeal because viewpoint discrimination, treating someone differently because of their political opinions, or in this case, the political opinions of their bosses, is not prohibited under the First Amendment.
That's right. And in his ruling, he says the government offers no plausible explanation for its treatment of the AP. So we'll see what they end up doing. I want to get your reaction to this. Obviously, the tariffs are front and center, major headlines every single day. As we know, some countries are trying to strike deals, coming here to the United States, having these conversations. But there are some conservative lawyers and businesses planning to legally challenge President Trump's tariffs. So I guess the question to you as our expert legal analyst here is, do they have a right to do this? And does President Trump have a right to impose all these tariffs?
Well, here's their argument. Can the Congress impose tariffs? The answer is yes. Congress imposed tariffs as the principal revenue-gathering mechanism for the federal government from the creation of the country up to the time of the Civil War. The problem is the presidential imposition of tariffs requires an emergency, and under the statute defines an emergency. This is the argument of the conservative groups that are challenging it. The statute defines an emergency, Bianca, as a sudden and unexpected event that adversely affects national security or economic prosperity. The emergency cited by the Trump administration is the trade imbalance. Well, that's been going on since 1934, so it's hardly a sudden and unexpected event. That's what their argument is. Can a federal judge enjoin these tariffs? Yes. Will this federal judge do so? Who knows? The case is filed in Florida. We expect a ruling in about a week.
We'll be watching it, and we'll have you back to discuss, of course, this and so much more. Judge Andrew Napolitano, a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Bianca.